Welcome to Bad Wrench Automotive. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to show you guys what you have to take apart to get at the valve cover to change those valve cover gaskets. If you're going to do all new coils, you're going to change plugs and wires, I highly recommend putting in new valve cover gaskets because you have to go down that far and it's only 4 more bolts to pull the valve cover off. So when it comes down to it, if you're going to do this process on any of your LS engines, truck, car, it does not matter. If it's an LS engine, I always recommend doing valve cover gaskets because it's an easy process. Let's go ahead and look at what it's going to take this down to where we can remove the valve cover. All right, so on an LS engine, you're going to have bolts that hold the coils on and you're going to have bolts that hold the bracket on. What you're going to do is start with disconnecting your electrical connection. Pull the blue clip, slide this up and towards the engine, and unplug all of your spark plug wires. Unplug them all if you're going to do the whole rail. Then you're going to remove these bolts. So this one, this one, this one, this one, and there's one back here. This will take this whole rail loose so that you can take it out of the way. We have one more rail to do that's sitting right over there. And when you remove that rail, it looks like this. The reason we want it to look like this is because now we're getting down to where we're going to start fixing the valve cover and then putting things back on. Let me talk about what I've done here a little bit so you guys understand kind of how this works. So let's start off with, if you guys just want to change one coil, you'll remove the top bolt and the bottom bolt, unplug this and unplug this wire, and you can take and change out one coil. When you're going to do the whole rail like this, you're going to check that wire harness. This is a brand new wire harness on here, guys. My factory one was completely burnt and the wires were crispy. So I was not getting what I needed to, at least voltage to these coils on the original setup. When I pulled the spark plugs, I had another situation that caused me to start chasing other things. We're going to cover that in the spark plug video. I'm not going to cover that here today, but we did go with the E3s. We did go with a 10 millimeter wire. The reason we went with a bigger wire is it'll handle and carry a bigger load for spark. So when we start putting more fuel to this thing, it's going to wake up and it's going to respond very well. If we didn't do this, we would be setting ourselves up for failure on a tune. And when we go to do the tune on this, I do want to wake it up a bit so that I know what the motor is capable of. There is a chance we could possibly rebuild this motor, or we could be looking at the potential of just getting a different engine and just swapping this entire engine out. Now, personally, I would like to do this engine because I can show you guys a lot more stuff if I do this engine than just buying a swap out. But if I can't get the power I want reasonably, we may do a swap out. Just kind of dropping info there, but this is the setup you're going to want on any of your LS engines. High performance coils, a little bit bigger cable, running a performance spark plug, and I will cover that valve cover in the next video. Guys, when you have a sports car or you have a project vehicle, just know that you're going to chase problems. It's not going to go as simple as it always looks. Sometimes you'd look at this and go, oh, it's a coil or coil bracket. I can pull it all and be done in half hour, 20 minutes. Wrong. Most of the time there will be complications and problems, and one of those that we ran into was that wire harness. When that wire harness went bad, I wound up having to pull that out. Let me show you that wire harness because that is kind of the key piece of why I had to do this. So this wire harness is actually clipped into the rail, and these wires come up to the coil, but the main feed comes in at the center of the coil bracket. And we had to rerun this wire because my old ones were all crispy from the heat that came up off of our manifold and just toasted that wire harness. So if you guys have an LS engine that you're doing work on, make sure you check that wire harness, because you may not have a bad coil, you might have a bad harness. And the more heat that gets absorbed into those wires, the more chance we're going to have problems. At some point, this thing will probably have to get headers, and they're going to have to get wrapped so that we can keep the heat away from those wires. It isn't just those wires I'm concerned about. The spark plug wires are very close as well. So having wrapped headers will keep those from touching the header and melting them. Now remember what I said, when you melt the rubber boots, if you melt them enough, it will find the ground and it will bypass the spark plug. That means that you're not going to either get the right spark into the cylinder, or you won't get the spark into the cylinder at all. So make sure you guys run your wires, make sure you guys double check everything when you put it back together. If this really helps you out and you guys are enjoying this LS GOAT content, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, ring that notification bell so you get notified when I drop new videos, and I'll see you on the next one.